Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer and welcome to Best Kept Plans. Today's video is going to be a budget with me for the paycheck that I will be receiving on March 14th, 2024 using the printable version of the Budget by Paycheck Workbook from the Budget Mom. If you're interested in seeing that, please stick around. Okay, so we're starting this budget with me in my monthly spread for March 2024. We are almost halfway through the month, but this is the first paycheck that I will be receiving for the month of March because I had a 3-paycheck month in February and got paid on the last day of February. So this paycheck is going to be used to pay all of my bills that are in this neon yellow color, which is the rest of my bills for the month of March. I'm going to cut forward here to my paycheck budget tracker. Things are definitely looking a little bit different with this budget. So if I zoom on in, the first area we're going to focus on is my inflow area, and that's where our first difference is. I generally budget my inflow to be $3,200. No, that's a lie, $3,100. But I did receive a pay bump at the end of 2023. And I was finally able to figure out where that pay bump was going to leave me with no overtime. And it's around $3,200. So I have decided to make that my new inflow budgeted amount. Now I will say, part of me almost wishes that I would have waited one more paycheck to make that change, because I actually have the percent contribution that I make to one of my retirement accounts go up 1% every year on my birthday, and my birthday was on the first day of March. So this is the first paycheck that's going to reflect that increase, that 1% increase. I'm hoping it doesn't drop me too much below $3,200, but I guess we'll see, and then I can always change things again moving forward if I need to. In terms of bills, we have quite a few bills that we're going to be paying with this paycheck. So we have Nelnet, which is my student loan. I'm budgeting $400. Verizon, which is my cell phone, that's $150. Optimum, which is my home phone internet cable, for $200. We have Sikorsky, which is my car payment, for $475. We have my church contribution, which is $20, and then Netflix, I forgot to put it up at top, $20 as well. All of my bills for this paycheck do add up to $1,265, and if I subtract that from the $3,200 we budgeted my income to be, I'm left with $1,935. That's what I'm going to bring over to the variable expense section. This is where we're budgeting for things that we know we're going to spend money on but don't have set amounts. I personally, for my budget, always have the same categories here and the same budgeted amounts, but that's not going to be the same for every person. So I have groceries $200, eating out $100, gas $75, and miscellaneous $175. If we add all of that together, it does equal $550. And if I subtract that from the $1,935 we were left with after bills, we have $1,385 that we're bringing over to the sinking fund section. Now, the sinking fund section has been looking different from paycheck to paycheck because we're currently in the middle of our sinking fund snowball. That is where I have sinking funds that have reached goal, but I don't decrease what I budget for sinking funds every pay period. And so with that extra cash, I put it into an envelope that has not reached goal yet. Moving forward, we're going to continue with that sinking fund snowball, but I am deciding at this point to put some extra cash towards one of my sinking funds categories because of something that's upcoming. So let's get through it. Black Friday is going to get $103, which is well above its usual amount, and that's because of that sinking fund snowball. Christmas is getting its usual $25. Car insurance and taxes is getting its usual $120. Gifts is getting $27, which is going to put it at goal. Now, I have spent from my gifts envelope a couple of times this year already, so it's not going to actually physically have the amount of cash that was my goal in the envelope. But if I hadn't spent out of it yet, this $27 would have gotten it to that goal. Giving is getting its usual 50, household is getting 20, home maintenance is getting 100, baby is getting 30, travel is getting 485. Now, 485 is clearly well above the usual $100 that travel gets. And the reason that I have bumped that up is because I did decide on an upcoming trip. I will be going to Canada in August, which is very, very exciting, and I need to book things for that trip. And so I really want to start putting more money towards my travel sinking fund so that I can do that. I have the room in my budget to do that. I am going to be pulling money away from some other goals in order to put more money towards travel, but I have the flexibility in my budget to do that. So travel is getting $485, and then personal is getting its usual $25. Because of the additional going towards travel, instead of having a total of $600, we have a total of $985. And if I subtract that from the $1,385 we were left with after bills and variable expenses, we have $400, which I've decided to just put directly towards my house savings. Now we're going to flip this over and just take a quick look at my cash envelope breakdown. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Okay, so for this cash envelope breakdown, I do always keep in mind for my variable expenses listed here that I have savings challenges that I need to save for. That's why there are these penciled in amounts. So for eating out, it's getting 100, but I'm going to do that in a 50, 2 20s, and a 10 because of withdrawing money from there for a savings challenge. Gas is getting 75 and its usual 50, 25. Miscellaneous is getting 175, and we're doing that in 2 50s, 3 20s, a 10, and 5 singles. For my sinking funds that are listed here, it's always going to be largest denominations possible. And all of this added together does equal $1,335, which is what I will be stuffing into my envelopes on Saturday when I post my cash envelope stuffing. And that's going to be it for the budget with me for this paycheck. I'm excited to have an upcoming trip. I'm motivated to try to make the most out of my paychecks to be able to put adequate money towards that travel sinking fund, but also feel like I'm still contributing to my house savings, still paying down debt. So it is going to be a bit of a balancing act, but that's part of what makes budgeting interesting and exciting and allows you to really figure out what your priorities are, whether they're short-term priorities or long-term priorities. I, as usual, welcome any comments, any questions that you have with regards to the way that I budget or how I use the Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom. I also always in the description box below have a link to my Etsy shop. I have tons of things on there: cash envelopes, sinking fund envelopes, trackers, savings challenge envelopes, a bunch of different things if you're curious to check any of that out. And I also have linked down below my Amazon favorites for those of you that are interested in the metal discs that I use to put my disc bound system together. Whoops. Here's some of my cash envelopes here actually. The paper that I use to print the Budget by Paycheck workbook, the cardstock that I use for things like the cover page and the monthly cover pages, all of that is linked down in my Amazon favorites, as well as some other budgeting tools that I utilize. That is an affiliate link, but there's no additional cost to you if you choose to use it. And as always, everyone, please be safe. Bye-bye.